Today is the second day of this April 1983 5-day retreat. And the koan this morning is number 41, taken from the Mumonkan, as presented here in Zenkei Shibayama's book Comments on the Mumonkan. The title is Bodhidharma and Peace of Mind. The koan reads, Bodhidharma sat in zazen facing the wall. The second patriarch, who had been standing in the snow, cut off his arm and said, "Your disciple's mind is not yet at peace. I beg you, my teacher, please give it peace." Bodhidharma said, "Bring the mind to me, and I will set it at rest." The second patriarch said, "I've searched for the mind, and it is finally unattainable." Another translation says, "Can't take hold of it. Cannot find it. I've looked for it everywhere. I cannot find it. Well, I've finally seen it's unattainable." Bodhidharma said, "I've thoroughly set it at rest for you." In Mumon's commentary to this koan, the broken-toothed old foreigner, referring to Bodhidharma, came from India to China. For China, for the Chinese Empire, with all its cultural refinement, vast domination of lands and people, everyone from outside was a barbarian. So Bodhidharma is often referred to as a barbarian. Things haven't changed in 2,000 years. The broken-toothed old foreigner proudly came over 100,000 miles across the sea. This was as if he were raising waves where there was no wind. Toward his end, Bodhidharma could enlighten only one disciple, but even he was crippled. And the poem says, coming from the west and directly pointing, this great affair was caused by the transmission. The troublemaker who created a stir in Zen circles is after all you. Guess pointing a finger at Bodhidharma. Who's supposed to have said there's no special transmission? Or is this transmission outside of words, scriptures, forms, pointing directly at the mind, seeing directly into one's mind? And attaining freedom at that instant. It was with this no message that the legend says he embarked on this long voyage to come from India to China. Maybe to do some of this direct pointing, or maybe to wipe away ideas about what enlightenment was, what truth was, or what the Buddha was. And the legend goes, as the emperor heard of his arrival. The emperor was an avowed Buddhist. He himself lectured and commented on the Buddha's scriptures and dialogues, sutras they're called. He financed the building of many monasteries, supported the monastic order of nuns and monks, built temples, had translations made of scriptures. He heard of the arrival of this Buddhist monk in China. He sent a messenger to have him come for an audience. Wanted to talk directly to a real Buddhist who's arrived from far lands. Bodhidharma came for the audience, and the emperor, so the legend goes, told him all that he's done for Buddhism. Told him about all the monasteries that were built, the temples that had been created, his support of monks and nuns, his translation of large amount of scriptures. And then he said, "What merit have I gained for all of that?" And this foreigner said, "None whatsoever." Just put yourself into this situation for a moment. Or a similar situation which really hits home. You've done something, a sort of a labor of love, as you call it. You've put all your energies into it, all your ambitions, and you have something to show for it. There it is. Whatever. A job, a building. A class of students who have an A average. A to B. And someone comes who you regard as an authority. Someone who really knows something about this. Someone who you look up to. And you ask him or her about your opinion of what you've done. And this person says there's no merit in all of that. It's no good. What'd you do all that for? How would you feel? Why did you do it in the first place? Because you wanted to do something, to fulfill your life, yourself, to have something to show for yourself. You are that building, that achievement. It's you. You're that. You're totally identified with it. Anything that's said against that is something said against you. And who are you? You're that. All your pride, hope for acknowledgement, approval, praise, pat on the back, being told about what you've accomplished to others, your fame spreading. Someone says, "Why did you do it? There's no merit in that." Person
may be right or wrong, but how do you feel when this comes? This response comes to you. How do you receive it? We don't know at what point in this audience, a dialogue, it happened, but the emperor asked, what is the highest meaning of the holy truth? What is the highest meaning of the holy truth? And the response was vast emptiness and nothing that can be called holy. Must have been utterly confusing, maybe devastating to this emperor, who had done all of this in the name of the holy truth or holy Buddha. So he said, well, who are you? Aren't you a holy man? And Bodhidharma replied, I don't know. According to the story, at this point he turned his back and never came back. Went someplace north, found a temple there, a monastery with a cave, and sat in a cave for 9 years. Meaning for a long time. Without an audience. Didn't do this for the benefit of somebody, he just did it. So the story goes. This story has never been verified by the scholars, but it's a good story. So finally, someone arrived. A man by the name of Eka in Japanese. Name doesn't matter. Here it says the second patriarch, that's what he became, but that doesn't matter either. What matters is that he came to this man, he wanted to learn something from him. He was a scholar himself. He had studied scriptures, also lectured on them, and was an expert on commentaries, on sutras. There had been a past meeting between the two. I don't want to go into that. But he sought out this man. Actually, he, according to legend, at one point had knocked out his teeth in anger, because he too was not confirmed in his pride of being a scholar and understanding the scriptures. So here he stands outside and wants to be let in. Let me into your cave. What are you seeing there in that wall? What are you doing? Can you teach me? And Bodhidharma ignored him for a long time, just didn't pay any attention to him. And then again, according to the legend, this man cut off his arm as a proof or a demonstration of his ardor, his seriousness. Presented it as an offering to that old man, 120 years old, so the story goes. And Bodhidharma finally turned to him and said, "What do you want? What are you seeking? What are you looking for?" And this man with cold feet said, "My mind is not at peace. I seek peace of mind. I seek tranquility. Please give it to me. You seem to have it. Or tell me how I can find it. Because my mind is in unrest, is agitated, in turmoil." And Bodhidharma said, "Bring this mind to me. Hand it over to me. Show it to me, and I'll put it at rest." Now, it is to be assumed that between this response of Bodhidharma's, "Bring your mind here and I'll put it at rest," and what the man said, there may have been quite an interval of time. There may or there may not have been, depending on all what went on while standing in the snow or while climbing up the mountain or traveling through half of China to reach that cave. What had gone on in this man's mind? And here he says, "I've searched for this mind, and it's finally unattainable. Or I can't find it anywhere. It's nowhere." There, I've set it at rest for you. What is the mind? The mind, as referred to by Eka, the man in the snow, is this restlessness. It is the inner contradiction of one want with another want. I want to be happy, I want to lead a happy life, but I also want to be spiritual. And somehow I have this notion that spirituality is devoid of happiness. I want to be famous and approved by people, known, and have a lot of what did one person put it? Adoration for it. And at the same time, I also want to be a modest person, humble, self-effacing. I want to speak out what's on my mind. I want to say what I feel honestly and truthfully. Yet I'm afraid of offending people. I'm afraid of speaking out, and I'm also afraid of not speaking out. I want lots of things, but I can't get them, and there's frustration and sadness and loss or not getting. I feel lonely, desperate. I want to find someone to share this loneliness with, or to make me forget this loneliness. If I do, I'm afraid of losing that person. Because this person may get sick and tired of me. Look for someone else. I want to be successful in school, get good grades, and all I do is get D's. Every once in a while a C, a lot of F's. And all the other people seem to be so much smarter than I am. This mind, accumulation of all of our wants, which are at war or in conflict with each other, as has just been pointed out. All of our fears, our hopes, and all this whole ballast, this whole mass of past experience. They're all recorded in our memory. All the things that have happened to me, good and bad, interesting and terrifying, and all that I have learned from these experiences that I'm now applying to this present life. The fears that are generated from past experiences, and the hopes for a future. Which I'm not at all certain of, which I'm really afraid. I don't know what it's going to bring. It may bring me further losses. It may bring war. I may get hurt or burned by a bomb or killed. My property may go up in flame. My family destroyed. There's war. This is mine. Collection, an assortment of experiences, feelings, drives, hopes, fears, ambitions. This whole stream of thinking, this whole stream of consciousness. And the focal point of it, me. The sense of me, the sense of self, the sense of I and mine, as opposed or very often in contradiction or in opposition to you. There's a lot of pain in one's life, a lot of frustration, suffering, sorrow. Then one becomes a little aware of what's going on. You become aware of the repetitiveness of incidents, always getting into the same thing over and over again, always making the same mistakes, having the same conflict, the same losses, the same attachments, the same fears, never ending, sort of like a squirrel cage, hamster cage, going around and round and round. And people are discovering, particularly in a retreat like this, and really becomes aware that one is caught in a cage or in a trap of one's own nature. At the moment there is the thought of I, there's also the want of I want, and the fear I may not get, or I may lose. Out of fear and uncertainty building up all our little tiny empires, which are so unstable. Everything is unstable in this life. But we want something to be stable. The I, the me, the self, and its creation. We find that our past creations have been unstable, have been annihilated time and time again, or shaken up, broken. We start seeking for something new. Peace. Peace of mind. Tranquility. Maybe we've tasted it in the past, at some rare moment when there was no self. But there can only be true peace and tranquility when there is no self. No self, sense of self or self-concern.
Or fear of self. At such a moment, peace and tranquility do not have to be sought. They're there. So maybe there's a memory of that. Or one has heard and read about peacemakers, tranquilizers. I don't mean the pills, but people who can give this to one if one submits to them. And one looks them up. One may have had plenty of experience with local ones, so one goes to foreign lands or different cities or countries, because there the peacemakers and tranquilizers still loom unspoiled. But please look right now. Who is it? What is it that is seeking? What is it other than that same self? That's been disappointed, disillusioned with its creations here, and now looks for a new creation, for a new world, for a new something which is called peace and tranquility. It wants that to feel stable and secure. Peace without end. Eternal peace. These are very inspiring words, aren't they? If anybody promised you this, you may give it a try. But
the enterprise is doomed from the beginning because there's the self looking for it, wanting it, to feel safe, at ease, and tranquilized, which is never forever, because the self gets used to things. What feels good today feels indifferent tomorrow and sort of boring and bothersome on the third day. And then what next? And yet this process, this endeavor, or whatever you want to call it, of really looking what's going on inside. What is the self? What are the machinations of the self? What is this whole process of thinking and creating goals in the future? One's pride in one's creations, or in one's temporary identities, and the vulnerability of those when they are punctured. That has to be seen. It has to be detected and clearly discerned and looked at, so that this old tape, which is running over and over and over, or the record, all tapes are circular too, is a known and understood and seen fact. The futility of it, the absurdity of it. Maybe in such understanding, in such a discovery of being imprisoned by this self, with all its wants and all its fears, all its contradictions, maybe in such seeing, this mind slows down on its own. Provided there's no judgment of it, no threat to it. No fear of seeing what is there. Just openness. An open discovery of what is going on this instant, without hanging on to it, without condemning it. This takes freedom, particularly freedom from religious, moral, or ethical standards and principles, because they obscure the mind. If one is inculcated with them, then one doesn't see. One only thinks of what one should be. One gets a glimpse of something, of greed or selfishness, jealousy or envy. Maybe a glimpse of this pool, this deep pool of inner violence. But no, I must not be violent. I must be gentle. I must not kill. I must love my neighbor. I must not be angry, but control anger. So the self, as it operates in its tracks from moment to moment, is not discovered. One looks the other way. One looks toward the ideals and aspires toward ideals. Aspiration is a thought process. It is not looking what is there. Aspiration is a thought process away from what is actually moving us and what is happening in our relationship with each other, because this is where these things all come up very strongly. Throughout the history of religious teachers, there has been this admonition, know thyself, know yourself. And never was it added as you should be, but as you are, from moment to moment. So here's this man, haunted by his own mind and the warring within the mind and the warring with others. That's quite a violent man. So had carried a chain with him. This is how he knocked out Bodhidharma's teeth once, when he sort of pointed out the futility of reading and commenting on scripture. Comes and begs for peace. Bodhidharma says, bring this mind to me. Show it to me. What is this mind? What we've been doing until now is describing, partly explaining, and naming human characteristics, motives, actions, such as wanting, fearing, jealousy, envy, possessiveness, pride, all of that. As it comes up in retreat such as this, can it be seen immediately without spinning thoughts about it? Those thoughts about it always go round and round. Anger comes up. Can it be seen directly as it comes up? Anger about the guy next to you. He shouts or makes noise or gurgles or whatever. See it directly. It's you at this moment. Or do you start going into endless theses about him, the one next to you, or yourself, that your anger is justified, because after all, you came here to find peace and tranquility? Instead of it, people are shouting around, stomping overhead, eating while I went to sit, or walking to the water counter. I'm not saying that people are complaining about all this. I'm just talking. So anger comes up. See it. Whatever it's that you're working with, make it who. It is who, or it's who, or what is it? With nothing interfering. No thesis needs to be written on it. You can do that afterwards. And see that the thinking about it is an escape from it. It's a pet occupation of the mind which we want to set at peace. But we don't want to give up its pet occupation, namely thinking. Thinking, fantasizing, dreaming, We love it. We complain about it, but we love it. It's our security, it's our escape from facing what's here. Boredom, pain, resentment, greed, wanting, endless blind wanting. What is that? Not the word wanting, but the raw material, the raw stuff, and where did it come from? What's the root of it? Can you put the who or the moo or the what right there? Not as an escape. It's no escape. It's that. But it doesn't stick to it, because nothing stays. Everything comes and goes, including anger, including bliss, joy, or fear. If you really question into the middle of it, you will find it's empty. There's no substance to it. But don't think that and then make up an ideal of emptiness which you're going to pursue, like this man pursued peace of mind. Because that's the self in action, wanting a new world to itself. What is this mind? It's the same as asking what is everything, which is the same as asking what is no thing or nothing. What is it? You can't picture it, you can't imagine it. I mean, you can, but that's ideas, which either enthrall you or scare you. So what's left to do? Attending without knowing. Listening without listening through the past, through what you already know. Words, memories. Questioning without knowing. Not with a goal in mind. When you have a goal in mind, you already know what you want to achieve. At least an idea of it. You don't know the goal. Ideas are never the real thing. What is the real thing? You don't know. Maybe you can't know. You've got to come upon it. Bare, stripped of all knowing. Who? Moo, or what is it? In the midst of all of this, what goes on in the body-mind, for which we have all kinds of words, I will not stay with words. Some people have come up and said, yeah, there's nothing inside. Who knows that? Who experiences that? Don't stop there. But question who or what is it until nothingness bursts. As an idea. Like as a memory or as a goal.